Okay, so another funny story. My little brother is an Alcoholics Anonymous, and he's been sober for about 3 years now. He was a pretty bad drunk, and you know, changed his life around. I don't see him that often, but now that I'm back in town, he lives here in San Diego too. So I look, at the progress he's made. He's really turned his life around. Blah blah blah. But he's a big AA buff, and I'm an alcoholic too. So it's like he was saying, "Yeah, why don't you come to an AA meeting with me, man?" It's like, okay, sure. And I'd been to AA before, but that was when I was 14 and I was forced to go. So I figured, 24 years later, fuck it, give it a shot. And, well, we get there, and I guess at the meetings, there's probably 20, 30 people there. I guess at the meetings, there's like a topic of the day, depending on who's giving the presentation or the leader or whatever it's called. And the topic, now my little brother knows I'm a Satanist. The topic for the day was uh, how God helped you to lead to your sobriety, right? Well, he looked at me and he laughed, because, obviously I'm a Satanist. Well, everybody stands up and is like, if it wasn't for God, intervening, I would be dead by now, you know. I found my strength through my higher power, and blah blah blah. Otherwise, and this one black guy got up and was like, "Devil had me good. This devil booze, he had me good." I was okay, and they asked if this is your first time, and I raised my hand, and another guy did, And there are people that are just really not into this fucking conversation. You can tell because they have their heads down. One guy had his head up against the wall like this, and he has his eyes closed. He was about to go to sleep. Other people have their heads down and they're fucking playing stupid Facebook games on their phone and shit. Some people went into it, but there's clearly some that weren't. Now I get up. Well, I didn't volunteer. The guy pointed at me and goes, "You with the star. Why don't you get up and tell your story?" And I said, as I was still seated, I said, "I'm the last person you want up there to tell my story, to talk about this." He goes, "No, no, 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 we're not going to judge you. Everybody's cool." I said, "Okay." So I got up there, and we're in a church, man. So it's a literal podium, a stage and a podium. And I said, "Hey, everybody, my name is Zach. I'm an alcoholic." "Hey, Zach." I said, "Okay, first off, I don't believe in God. Second, I'm not sober. I might be sober today." And then everybody stands up and claps. Yeah. You know. But, I said, "I've been listening to all you guys' stories. And, it sounds like all of you found God and your higher power at the bottom of a fucking booze bottle, I'm like, you guys are saying how alcohol ruined your life and God saved you. Unless God came down and took that bottle away and said, you need to go AA, it wasn't God that saved you. It was you that saved you. It took you to hit fucking rock bottom. It took you to get to the point where your alcoholism wasn't worth the loss, and the pain it was causing in your life. So, if you have a higher power, if you got faith, if you're a spiritual person, if you want to believe God saved you, fine. If that's what it takes to help get you sober, fine. Then it works for you. Okay? And I look up at these 12 steps, and a lot of them have to do with God and higher power. I'm like, I don't know if I can do these 12 steps, guys, because one, half of them have to do with a higher power in God. And I'm like, no. And then I looked at the black guy and I said, "Oh, and your excuse that the devil made you do it, the devil didn't make you do it. Did the devil come and say to you, here's a bottle of Jack Daniels, drink it?" I don't think so. And I told the black guy, I said, people have been blaming the devil for their misfortunes since the beginning of fucking time, practically. I'm like, take responsibility, man. We're all responsible. We're all responsible for our own actions. Okay, responsibility to the responsible. One of the satanic statements. And I didn't say about the satanic statements, but that's just telling you, YouTube. So I said, I'm not here to find a higher power. I'm not here to find God. It's never gonna fucking happen. My brother's trying not to laugh because he knows I'm a Satanist, and I said, I'm here, one, my brother, I look at how much better my brother's life is from when I last saw him when he was drunk, so that's kind of motivating. Also, I'm here to help find strength, motivation to be sober. And I said, also, the people that I know and associate with it's all drinking related, they're all drunks or drug addicts, and so it revolves around that. I don't have any friends that are sober. I don't even know what the fuck to do, so I'm here to meet you folk that are sober and have a similar problem as I do, and maybe I can, find something to do with my time other than sit around and get drunk on my free time. That's basically it, man. But it was a weird experience, man. My brother thought it was hilarious, and when we left the meeting, he was like, what are the chances that the first AA meeting you go to, and over 20 years, it's about how God helped you find your way to your sobriety, and it's like, and I laughed at it and I said, yeah, do you think that's a higher power intervention? He's like, probably. It's like, oh, yeah, well, whatever. It really comes down to this. You need to find the strength and the willpower to do it. And a lot of us, it takes somebody to hit rock bottom. Some of us are functioning alcoholics. Some of us are not. Me, I fluctuate between the two. But, I'm not going to hear talk about my drinking. But I just want to tell you the funny story about AA. And when I got outside, a lot of these, those people that were uninterested in the conversation just popped their heads up and put their phones down and listened to me, and they were smiling like this and kind of nodding like, those same people, the ones that came out to me when we were outside smoking a cigarette, patted me in the back like, dude, good job, man, good job, and so, or come up and shake my hand and introduce themselves. So, I'm not alone in feeling this way. Those are the atheists in the audience. There's only probably like 4, 5, 6 of them, but, they can relate. So, that's my AA story.